Mandi Blake, and thank you so much to Tony Shallow for having me on for her Wednesday excerpts. Today I'd like to read a bit from my newest book, Hope for the Hero. It's book number 16 in the Heroes of Freedom Ridge series, but each book can be read on their own as a standalone. They're complete stories. They're all written by different authors, so you can get books by Jessie Gussman or Hannah Jo Abbott, Lee Wen Ho, L.E.K., and lots of others. Tara Grace Erickson is our founder, and we absolutely love the Heroes of Freedom Ridge series. It's been going on for 3 years now, and this has been the best, funnest series to write with some of my good friends. So, Hope for the Hero is an opposites attract romance. Adam is our main guy, and Tessa is his complete opposite. She's kind of giving him some trouble at this point in the beginning of the book. So they're clashing at work. It's also a workplace romance. So here's a little bit of their opposites at play. Tessa disconnected the call and pulled her laptop from her bag. Setting it on the desk, she opened it and turned it on. The note she left herself stood out on a pink Post-it note. Kill him with kindness. It had been her mantra for the week, and so far, it was working. Adam was beginning to respond to her with direct answers instead of hostile growls, so her sugary sweetness must be working its magic. She brushed a hand down her blouse and over her hair. She pulled it back into a tight bun again this morning, hoping to show Adam that she was serious about this job. Hair bun meant serious, right? Coffee first. She strode to the break room and filled her sparkling mug with coffee, creamer, and sugar. She spotted Adam's signature tan mug beside the sink. It was 7 in the morning. Why wasn't he drinking his second cup of coffee? Tessa paged his office. Hey, do you want some coffee? Adam's deep voice responded. Yes. There was a short pause before he added, please. Tessa smiled and grabbed Adam's mug. He was such a quick learner. He'd almost mastered the magic words. With fuel in hand, she headed straight to Adam's office. She stopped outside and closed the door and frowned. How was she supposed to get in when her hands were full? Adam, she shouted through the door. Yes? Can you open the door for me, please? Low grumbling on the other side of the door told her he wasn't happy about being inconvenienced. When he opened the door, she put on her biggest smile, the one she reserved for complaining customers and her parents when she'd done something wrong. Good morning, Mr. Roberts, she said, beaming with so much joy she could muster. The lines between Adam's brows faded. Good morning, Miss Mitchell. Oh, this game was going to be fun. I brought your coffee. She shoved the tan mug toward him. Black. Don't say it. Don't say it. Just like your soul. Drat. Why couldn't she let that one slide? Adam took the mug and tensed his jaw. I have to leave at 10 o'clock, and we need to go over the rest of the files before then. Tessa saluted. Yes, sir. The afternoon without Adam breathing down her neck was a gift. He'd given her a task list before leaving, and she'd almost knocked out every item. Then there had been that little surprise Adam had slipped in right before he walked out to meet with a client. He wanted her to be his second for the Ritter and Hagen Gala on Friday night. It was a small job on the grand scheme of things, but Ritter and Hagen was one of the larger law firms in Freedom. Their annual gala for foster and adoptive families was always a highlight in town. Tessa typed the last line item into an email she drafted for Adam. He was going to actually smile or show some kind of human emotion when he read all the things she'd accomplished while he was out of the office. She scrolled back to the top and considered changing her salutation. His Royal Highness. Nope, the greeting stayed. Maybe he'd see it for the fun she meant instead of grumbling about her lack of qualifications. His disregard of the work she'd done to land this job stung, but she shouldn't care so much what he thought of her ability to do the job. She was confident in herself, and she'd show anyone who questioned her just how wrong they were to doubt her. She pressed send and stood to refill her pink and purple tumbler with water. On her way back from the break room, Alexis stopped her. Hey, have you heard from Gene Thomas today? He said he'd be sending me the blueprints for the Hudson Tower today, and I wanted to be able to look it over before the event on Saturday. He didn't send it to me, Tessa said. Alexis rolled her eyes. He probably sent it to Adam and forgot to copy all of us on it. She sighed and turned around. I just thought I was getting out of here at a reasonable hour today. What do you need? I'll do it. You go on home, Tessa said. Alexis narrowed her eyes at Tessa. Are you sure? Of course. I don't have to be at Mom and Dad's for dinner for a few more hours. Will you check Adam's email and see if Jean sent him the blueprints? If he did, forward it to me, and I'll look at it when I get home tonight. You got it. Enjoy your evening. Alexis waved over her shoulder. Thanks, I owe you one. Tessa went straight into Adam's office. He kept his email up 24/7, so the task for Alexis should take less than 2 minutes. Settling into the chair behind Adam's desk, she turned the tan pot containing the small cactus on his desk. He'd been irritated by the one in his mug, but she'd gotten this pot at the local greenhouse. He had no reason to reject Petunia. She definitely brightened up the sparse and meticulous room. Adam's office was bland, with not a single photo, not one decoration, and no color beyond neutrals. There wasn't anything in the room that gave her a clue about who the uptight Adam Roberts really was in his everyday life. Clicking to his inbox, she found the email and forwarded it to Alexis. Mission accomplished. What are you doing? Adam stalked to her side. The scowl on his face had deeper lines than she'd ever seen. Alexis needed, this is the last straw. I've had it with you. He turned the chair and grabbed the armrest. He pulled her, chair and all, out of his office and into hers, huffing and grumbling the whole way. I don't want to hear it, Adam barked. Stopping in the middle of her office, he bent until he was eye level with where she sat in the chair. You've infiltrated my entire life, and I've had it. I don't want your plants. I don't want your sparkle and glitter. I don't want anything from you except space. Stay out of my office. Will you? Tessa started, but he cut her off again. Stay out of my office, he repeated slowly, his deep voice rolling over her and tingling the skin on her arms and legs. His gaze didn't waver as he stared her down. His face was so close she could feel the heat of his breath in every deep exhale. His jaw tightened, and she squirmed beneath his broad frame. His dark eyes warned her to keep quiet. Then, the gaze that had so sternly held her attention slipped down to her lips before jerking back up again. A wave of heat rushed up her spine at that simple shift. Adam's anger, coupled with her shock, was mixing into a new and dangerous emotion, desire. Her stomach flipped, and she let out a soft breath. Not Adam Roberts. This could not be happening. It wasn't real. Yet the pull in her middle said the unexpected and raw attraction that caught her in that moment wasn't something she would easily forget. Adam's throat bobbed with a quick swallow, and he stepped away from her. Without a word, he walked out and closed the door behind him. Tessa's jaw dropped, and she sat frozen. What just happened? Had Adam looked at her like that before and she just hadn't noticed? Or worse, was she the only one who felt that shift between them? When she recovered from the shock, she stood and wheeled Adam's chair back to his office. She knocked, but didn't wait for his response. She opened the door, pushed the chair inside, and closed it back. Adam wanted her to stay out of his office, and she'd gladly obeyed. Getting too close to him might solidify whatever new feelings she just experienced, and that was a risk she wasn't willing to take. That's all for today, and that's a little bit of the opposites playing in Hope for the Hero. So thank you so much again to Tony Shiloh for having me on for Wednesday Excerpts. Thank you.